More news coming in, and this is in regard to another sexual assault case that has come to light. We are talking about a case that came to light from Badlapur in Maharashtra's Thane district. 4 two-year-old girls were allegedly sexually assaulted at school. From a case that has now been reported, this has resulted in a massive protest that took place yesterday at the Badlapur train station. This was an incident that had come to light of that janitor who was responsible for taking the girls to the restroom. There were no lady attendants. There was no CCTV camera that was working at the school. So many lapses that have come to light. But the reason for this agitation was the delay as far as the filing of the FIR is concerned, and the muted response that the parents got from the authorities at the school. So our first information report that was to be filed, there was a massive delay to the tune of 11 hours before that FIR could be registered, is what is being claimed by the parents of the victim. But this is something that has enraged the protesters. They took to the streets. They were there at the Badlapur train station protesting, but 28 people out of the 300 who had gathered there have been arrested in this particular incident due to the agitated lot. The police had to retort to tear gas as well in order to disperse the crowd. They had to use lathi charge, and that is when the crowd finally dispersed in the evening from a very crucial railway station in which about 1800 trains are operational on a daily basis, and they were all impacted and affected. Trains were delayed for hours on end, and it is only later in the evening when the services were resumed. And we have my colleague Anuj. Joining us to get us more on this. Anuj, take us through the kind of lapses that have come to light in regard to this man who was apparently a new recruit, and also the fact that they, allowed a man to take young little girls to the restroom, and now it is the Chief Minister, the Deputy Chief Minister, the Education Minister. They've all stepped in saying that this case will be fast-tracked, and that they're looking into the matter. They're going to bring about changes on the ground when it comes to schools in Maharashtra.
Yeah, you see, the person involved in this case was included in the school, in the school staff on a contractual basis earlier this month. It had not been more than 12 to 13 days since he had become a part of the school staff on a contractual basis. And when this incident came to light, a lot of frustration and the angst of the people was a result of several things. You see, it was not just, of course, it was primarily the incident that took place, but besides that, it was also about the inactivity by the authorities in the school, and by especially the inactivity or the delay by the police officials. We see that when the parent of one student got to know about this, they contacted the parent of another student, and when they found out that there are 2 children involved in this, they made their way through to the police station, where they were reportedly made to wait for close to 11 to 12 hours. And as a result of that, a wave of frustration spread all across Badlapur, and that resulted in what happened yesterday. And of course, all of the political intervention which we see happening, which might be perceived as very prompt yesterday, but then it is important to note that it happened almost a week after the incident came to light. The incident had happened on the 12th and 13th, and it had come to light on the 14th and the 15th of August. So it was close to 5 days of delay when the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Ministers gave their statements and talked about putting either an SIT committee or, fast-tracking the entire case. It needed the people and the agitators in the Badlapur city to come on the ground. And the primary reason for them to get on the ground was also the same. There were 2 major centers of their protest yesterday. One was, of course, the school, and the other was the railway station. Earlier this day, of course, the NDTV team was present at the railway station, but we were unable to show the visuals from there because there has been a jammers been put in place here across Badlapur by the authorities and by the police, just to make sure that no sort of video circulate putting out any sort of wrong information. So it has not been possible for us to show the live footage, but it will be possible in a while. But what we saw there happen today was very different from yesterday. Yesterday we saw that the entire Badlapur had come to a standstill. In the afternoon, all the shops, all the major commercial shops were closed. There were no auto rickshaw drivers there on the road, and they were all supporting the cause of the protest. But in the evening, we saw lathi charge happened on the protesters, which resulted in the dispersion of not just the protesters, but it also brought back the, brought back the system of railways to the normalcy. Today we are seeing that the city is coming back to a bit of normalcy, but then the police is still there making sure that the railways and the school is kept safe. Of course, the school was attacked yesterday by the protesters because they will be keeping a very close eye on the next activity of the protesters. Finally, action has been initiated against 300 protesters and 28 have been arrested by the police. What action will